because we do have a projected winner now in the U.S. Senate race on the GOP side. Incumbent Senator Rick Scott, very little surprise, of course, winning in a landslide based on the Associated Press projection. He is currently at 84.5% of all votes on the GOP side with 74% precincts reporting. He is the projected winner on the GOP side and will go to November, of course, likely to face Debbie Mucarsel-Powell. Thank you. With 78% of precincts reporting, this could be the next race that is called. We anticipate that happening in the minutes ahead here. But let's just kind of really quickly focus on Senator Scott. Guys, he was going to cruise tonight, and of course he has maybe a little bit more of a test, obviously, come November.
Yeah, and he hasn't spent any ad money, to my knowledge, on talking about Keith or John, his opponents in the Republican primary. Currently, what I've been able to follow is that he's been spending money on like attack ads against Mucarsel-Powell. So I don't think he was even concerned about his primary, and experts were not concerned about his primary as well.
Yeah, I think, as I said, no one's going to outwork Rick Scott. He is he's the most focused and disciplined individual I have ever personally known in politics by a long shot. And no one will outwork him, no one will outspend him. And it's going to take all the king's horses and all the king's men to defeat him in the state of Florida.
I want to bring everybody out to another projection just coming in to WFLA.com via the Associated Press. Debbie Mucarsel-Powell has won on the Democratic side in the race for U.S. Senate. It will be the incumbent Senator Rick Scott against Debbie Mucarsel-Powell in November. Ty, you've covered this race extensively on WFLA News Channel 8. Your thoughts? This is what people anticipated.
Yes, this is no surprise from many people. And it's no surprise that Campbell came in second. But Debbie Mucarsel-Powell, former Congresswoman, one term out of Miami-Dade, she was ousted by the county's former mayor, Carlos Jimenez, who is a close ally of Donald Trump. And Carlos Jimenez is expected to stay in Congress as well. So it's interesting to see a former Congresswoman who was ousted trying to now oust Rick Scott. And my question to Jim, what does Mucarsel-Powell have to do to try to oust Rick Scott, who, of course, served as governor for 2 terms and then ousted Bill Nelson, longtime Democratic senator? So what does Mucarsel-Powell have to do to try to win in November?
She has to convince folks, not just in Florida, that these 2 amendments on the ballot are going to drive turnout in the way that a close presidential race drives turnout in a state, and put her within reach of Rick Scott strictly based on the partisan vote, because he has solidified the Democrat and some of the independent votes against him just because he's a hardline Republican. If she can raise the money based on that to introduce herself, she has a competitive race.